That's the traditional statue. Well, it was always the center of the campus because of Chaminade. Chaminade, not only for the university, but also for the high school, for us. And now he's blessed, and we have some miracles, alleged miracles. If they're proved, he would be canonized. But anyhow, he's the inspiration for our life, our work. Chaminade founded, interestingly, the society after the French Revolution in Bordeaux, in France. And what was unique about it is that he founded the society to work with laity, to form groups of lay Christians, what we call communities of faith. So actually, his real thrust was working with the laity. So from the very beginning, he had the idea of a worldwide community, but it began in France and then expanded throughout the world. So there are probably more Marianists in America than other parts, but it's everywhere, all the continents. And basically we say education, but it's beyond just education, it's working with the laity in terms of formation. The statue is not associated with the school or the university as such. It's associated with the men who work here, the Marianists. And we used to have a large number of Marianists living here on campus. So Chaminade is the inspiration for our life. And all we're doing is carrying out the mission of Chaminade. And this is an example of it. So his vision of evangelization, of developing the church, is realized through education, and that's why we have given our lives to promoting education, the values, Christian values, Marianist values, that the whole idea of collaboration, service, faith that we talked about before. It's a remarkable life because he lived a long life and had that vision of a worldwide community. But remember, the thrust was to develop a strong laity in the church. So it was not just focused on ourselves, but on our service to the laity. Education is one of the key ways of doing that. But there are other ways, developing communities of faith in parishes and so on. So that's the background to this. So we have the statue to just remember our inspiration. This was barren. Boy, had tennis courts. I used to play tennis on this property. There was nothing here, period. I first came here in '47. And we didn't, what we had in '47 were the three main buildings, well, five really. But you have Henry, what we call the administration building, and Bertram Hall. They had the science hall up on the side there. And we had what we called the cafeteria building. It was our dining area, kitchen, and that sort of thing. So there actually were five main buildings at that time. The original administration building was in two parts. We had offices in front, and we had all the living quarters in back. And there were big rooms. We had a big Hawaiian room, we had a lot of club room. It was spacious. So we had the chapel in there and all that. Different configuration. It's hard to visualize that, given the present configuration. In addition, there were 200 government buildings on the property at the time of the military hospital. We kept a number of those after the war. We could have them all, but we only kept a handful for our own, ongoing use. In fact, the last director of the military on campus here was very conscious of the fact he would leave work buildings and especially utilities that would be used by the school afterwards, after the military left. There was a very good collaboration in that regard. So it was a hospital, but then continued as it was before a school. I don't know, I'm a visionary, but I used to walk on the sidewalk in front of the three buildings. It overlooks the whole Waikiki area, Kaimaki, Waikiki. And just the realization that we have something to do here. So I had that kind of, I used to walk after the end of the day. It was one of my great delights. You think about what can be, and you work at it. We had a wonderful group of men here. It was a really exciting time to work together. It's not that long ago,
6 years.
Well, we're talking about how we used to have chapel down in this building, and then we would go up to the next building for our meals. So in the morning, after morning prayer, mass, we all go out, and one of the old brothers had cultivated a flock of birds who waited for him, and he would give them their morning breakfast. But he always had to carry the rosary with him, and he always called it a hawk. Some other dove or big bird came down, he'd chase it away. Didn't belong there. But I was telling Capono that the real thing was when we changed timetable, we were off by a half hour, the birds were very confused and not very happy. Oh, we're entering Henry Hall? Yeah, this is where the college actually began. We used the classrooms for offices and classes. And everything happened here. Now it's a flurry of activity. We had our own activities, but we were smaller. When I first came here, there were only 2 hotels. The Ala Moana and the Royal Hawaiian.
So that was before the skyline.
Yeah, there was no skyline.
No skyline, right?
Yeah, just those. You look down, all you saw was 2 hotels. It was very clear. Well, when you come in, this is very visible, by plane.
Yeah.
And all that's, of course, new.
Yeah,
And there's all those
skyline or
years.
anything.
The old brothers would sit out on the administration building with a bunch of chairs there and outlook, reminisce about what they had seen, 50 years before me. Well, so many events took place here. I mean, we're just talking about that. This is a gathering spot. One I remember we were talking about was a speech contest. And we did a lot of work with the schools around the area. That was one way of keeping in touch, beyond the university. Father Berger was a great teacher, but also a great performer, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he loved to give Cyrano de Bergerac, and he just all by heart. Yeah. But he also was our Santa Claus for Christmas parties for the brothers. This used to be our community room for the brothers. And we just gather here, newspapers, talk, radio. And then on the other side, there was a corresponding room the same size. When I first got here, each one was a study hall, like a journal room. Everybody had a great big desk. So, I mean, we had about 40 desks and everything. Then that disappeared. All these things disappeared. This is a nice spot. And, even before the air conditioning, you get a wonderful breeze on this side of the house. And it's very, very cool, refreshing. This is nice. It's a good transition. Well, the Oval, years ago, had a lot more vegetation around, bushes and things, that much I remember. But the statue, of course, is very new. It's a wonderful statue of Chaminade, I think, because it presents a young, dynamic Chaminade, and it's a real call to action. I just love the beauty of this place. This is a wonderful spot. In the earlier days, the brothers did a lot of the yard work, planting, maintaining property. Very hard work, but very, very, wholesome work. This was our entrance, and, it was always a symbol. You see that and you're at home.